Yo, what's up there, guys? Doc Feel Hot, and today I'm playing some NHL 14. This is just a couple of shootouts. I don't know what team I'm playing against, but you'll see when you actually see this video. And today is episode 1 on my brand new series, what I like to call Hockey Talks. And this series, what is about is basically me ranting on hockey in general. It doesn't matter, like NHL, doesn't matter the teams, doesn't matter what league, doesn't matter what player, just me ranting on hockey in general. And this series is sort of a like to the random shootout series, but this isn't live and this isn't a random shootout. The gameplay will be different from time to time, but you'll see in other episodes. And for the series, I won't do it quite as often, or the only time I'm going to do this an episode for the series is when I think I need to rant on one, like on a topic in general. So let's leave it at that. And overall, the stuff I say in this video are all in my opinion. You guys have obviously your own opinions, and if you have opinion and you like to tell it to me, you can leave it in the comment below. And no need to rage. It's just you can tell it to me, but don't need to like say like, oh, you're a stupid little bitch, blah blah blah. Just I hate comments like that. But just leave it in the comment below, and I like to hear other people's opinion. But when they rage out, it pisses me off. Okay, so for this introduction video, I want to talk about NHL Western teams and Canadian Western NHL teams. So you're looking at Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that they suck this year, and they need to wake up. And you could see Vancouver did okay this year, but when you think of Vancouver, Vancouver is a team that used to win President's Trophy. They used to be on top of the Western Conference, and they were a playoff team. But overall, I'll split it into three parts, and like every part will be one team. And I just want to say like what they need to do and why they should like wake up. So let's start off with Vancouver. Like I said, Vancouver did okay this year, but like they used to be on top of the Western Conference. When you would hear Vancouver, Vancouver was a playoff team. But when they traded Roberto Luongo, they proved to us that they're no more a playoff team. Because right now, their goalie situation is pretty messed up, and they're in a rebuild stage. As of traded Luongo, they're in a rebuild stage. What they need to do is they need to trade both Sedin twins, and they need to get them off the team, get some young prospects. Because those Sedin twins, yes, they're great players, but they're getting older. And when you think about it, Vancouver is not getting any better. So they need to get younger players. When this upcoming draft, it would be a really good, smart idea to trade the Sedin twins and get young prospects and go into a rebuild stage. For the goalie situation, Eddie Lack is a good goalie. He needs to develop a little bit more, but overall, I'm pretty sure he won't be a Roberto Luongo, but he'll be a good goalie in the future. He just needs time to rebuild. He just needs time to develop. And their coach, John Tortorella, I don't hate John Tortorella. I just think that he pushes stuff to the max. By that is that he can bring stuff a little bit far. And overall, Vancouver, they're in a rebuild stage. Like all three teams are in a rebuild stage, but Vancouver, they're starting to be in a rebuild stage. Calgary, also a rebuild stage. Calgary was 7th place in the Western Conference this year. And for Calgary, they were in a rebuild stage as when they traded Jerome McGinley. They proved to us that they are in a rebuild stage because Calgary, they have fuck all. All they have is they have a couple of good players like Giordano. They got Sean Monahan, and they got other players also. But overall, they're pretty bad. And obviously, Sean Monahan, he is a good player. He played in Ottawa 67, which is my hometown, Ottawa. But Sean Monahan, he needs a team to go around with because Sean Monahan did actually pretty good for his first season, getting drafted, I think, 7th overall, and getting actually an NHL contract right away. You know your team needs players when that happens. Nathan McKinnon's another story because he's 1st overall. But not even Jonathan Drouin made the Tampa Bay team. So your players need you need players when you sign a player like that right away. But for Calgary, what they need is it's like Was it Kari Ramo, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. It's Ramo or Satamo. No, it's Ramo. He's a good goalie. Yes, he's a good goalie. He needs to develop like Eddie Lack, but he's not a future like all-star goalie. But what Calgary needs to do is they need to find another goalie because Mika Kiprusoff, he's done obviously, but they need to find a Mika Kiprusoff when he was in his prime, and they need to get it. They need to get a goalie, and they need to trade a lot of players for that. But overall, Calgary, they need a full-on rebuild because offensive, defensive, and goalie-wise, they gotta really wake up and like think trading-wise what they need to get. And in this upcoming draft, they'll get another really good prospect. And let's get on to Edmonton. Edmonton is soon to be a great team. You just gotta wait. There's so many good players on that team. It's unreal how they always end up last place. Well, technically, this year they didn't end up completely last, but it was third to last. But it's incredible how they end up last place every single year. And it surprises me because you have all the prospects in the world. What is it? Look at Eberle, Taylor Hall, Nuja Hopkins, Nail Yakupov. Well, not Eberle because he wasn't first overall, but friggin' Taylor Hall, Nuja Hopkins, Nail Yakupov, and now they have Darnell Nurse. Like, that's 3 years in a row they got first overall, and they got Darnell Nurse which he hasn't. Well, I think he hasn't played yet in the NHL, but they need all. Like, they're soon to be. Like right now I'm not saying their forward wise is done. Like they don't need to change their forwards whatsoever. Well, they could trade a couple players, but overall their forwards aren't bad. Their defensive situation, yes, I think they need to trade some of the older guys. I know Schultz is a really good defenseman, but trade some of the older guys and get some younger guys that are good and that are ready to play in the NHL. And goalie wise, they have Ben Scriven, so their goalie wise is short of their goalie situation is actually sort of sorted out. So that's good for Edmonton. But like I'm saying, Edmonton is a soon-to-be. All they lack right now is team chemistry. You got all these star players put in one team. Obviously, it's going to be a good team, but for Edmonton, it doesn't really work out for them. So they need chemistry. They need a lot of chemistry right now. And if they can get that chemistry, they'll be top of the NHL in no time. So overall, what I'm trying to say, Vancouver, they're in a rebuild stage. And they were a has-been. Calgary has been sort of wise, and Edmonton's a soon-to-be. So if you guys remember, please subscribe. And like I said, overall, these are just my opinions on what NHL Western Canadian teams need to do. And like I said, for episodes, I don't know when I'm going to do this. If I get good positive feedback on this, then I'll probably continue this series. But this is just a random rant that I want to talk about. So, well, see you next time. So, bye-bye.